After studying science, you'll find that all people are one race. And basically, that word races, that evolutionized term, really should be getting rid of. We should say people groups and such as the like. And instead of, if we are supposed to have more of an attitude of God these days, His word clearly says that He looks at the heart of a person, not the outside. And that's what I do a lot these days. This is a phrase I've made up in order for determining a person. I wait for the person's attitude to show up before I start judging them. And if their attitude stinks, well, then I can make a legitimate determination of what kind of person they are. And I don't like these days how if we people try to criticize Obama, and people can easily say, oh, you're being racist, stuff like that. We're basically looking at the direct results he's bringing forth. Like, I'm not looking at his outward appearance. I'm looking at his intentions, his attitude, and so on. And instead, and that's what the Christian attitude is these days. Instead of looking at a person's, that the hair amounts, the eye shape, the hair color, the skin shade, the height or weight, let's try looking at the person. Let's try looking at the person. Let's try looking at their mind, their needs, their heart, their spiritual conditions, their cares, their hurts. Look at their spiritual needs. Look at their heart. Look at their attitude, what they need. Look at the person. What do they need? And stuff like that. Get past all the, the physical appearance. Try and look in, how their spiritual condition is. That's the Christian attitude. So there are no such thing as races. There's such thing as people groups. I mean, for example, I'm going to give you an example, different colored cows, like black and white. Would you call those different races of cows? No, they all look the same in the meat locker and they all taste the same on the hamburger, okay? There's no such thing as races, okay? But, so basically, in a biblical term, there's no such thing as races. There's such a thing as people groups. But in a spiritual essence, we are of two different spiritual races. The direction in which we are racing, one towards the light and one towards the dark. And so, and basically, Jesus spoke in John 8:12. Then Jesus spoke again to them, saying, "I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life." And so, people who are running towards the light and running towards the darkness. And that's one of the reasons, the only supposed interracial marriage that God counsels against is a marriage between a non-Christian and a Christian. It's only supposed to be a Christian and a Christian. And things like this can happen. A non-Christian and a non-Christian can marry. A Christian and a Christian can marry. But it can never be like this. How about a scenario such as this? If a non-Christian and a non-Christian marry, and one of them becomes a Christian, it is only this person's decision if they want to divorce or not. Only this person's decision. Or this person can become a Christian as well. But it is never supposed to be a marriage between a non-Christian and a Christian. Always between a Christian and a Christian. Because the Bible says, what a relationship does light have with darkness? I mean, and there's no such thing as interracial marriage, okay? A black person and a white person can marry. I mean, we are all one race biologically. The human genome research has found that all people are one race. Evolutionism says that one race is always more evolved than another. Charles Darwin said over and over something like, the Native Americans were just advanced animals, and Hitler had his list of who to kill off, who's less evolved or more evolved, closer to Aryan or closer to ape, okay? And so evolution is actually a dangerous theory, and it cannot be defended. It is a dying, dangerous, depressing, fallacious, erroneous worldview that has no part in science whatsoever. It has been proven wrong so many times, and it is basically an anti-scientific theory because a lot of scientific evidence gathered in favor of special creation has been thrown out. Any evidence found out by a discoverer, they are fired immediately. Or anyone who finds up some scientific evidence that there can be an intelligent designer to the universe, they're just fired like that. So that's also something I should have also put in my evolutionists are anti-science. A lot of evidence is being brought forth that can support creation, those are thrown out. The way science works is that if you have a theory, and if the facts don't match your theory, then throw your theory away. They would have thrown out evolution a long time ago, except they can't replace it with anything except creation. So they just want to hold on to it because of their prior commitments. So, there's no such thing as races. There's such thing as people groups, and basically, I want to leave you with a final thought. Haven't you ever wondered, if someone calls you a monkey, you know it's an insult. But if they say that you came from a monkey, that's supposedly modern science. You really ought to think about that.